this is like a hookier than normal video intro. I am realizing that I've edited together, but whatever. We're gonna say it looks cool. Good job, Amanda. Welcome to Batsto Village. We parked at the visitors center, and yeah, we're gonna go for a bike ride. We're doing what is called the Orange Loop, and I know a little later on in the video I'm gonna show you what that looks like, but you'll notice that there are circle blazes on all the trails that we ride in this video, like that one right there that was green. The circle means the trail is suitable for mountain bikes. There's an orange and a green on that tree right there. So yeah, I hope that you can get out to Batsto someday if you like to mountain bike and you really like to turn, because that is pretty much all you get to do at Batsto is turn your bike. Turn, 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 turn. It's a great place to ride if you want to practice cyclocross. You can even ride your cyclocross bike here. Today we are on our mountain bikes because it's cushier and more comfier, and we're not trying to do speed, we're just trying to have fun. And I don't know, I guess it had rained recently, and I think I just wanted more traction. And every time I come back to Batsto, which this is like about a year since I've been to Batsto, I think, I like forget how to ride here because it's so different than Philadelphia. It's so sandy. We're in the Pine Barrens. You can see all these pine needles. The winter is the best time to ride here because if it gets wet, you can still ride. It really doesn't get affected by, oh look, it's about an hour from Philadelphia. I love that I've just edited this and I'm going to talk over it and not know when any of my stupid fly-ins come in. Yep, it's about an hour drive from where we live in Philadelphia, and it makes it really convenient. It's rained a lot, and no, it was like 11. Here's all the trails, 11 mile-per-hour winds this day. So again, we're doing that orange loop, and you kind of are on these like feeder trails to get there. It's about an 18 to 19 mile loop to do one of them, and we do two of them today. That's David trying to ride off the trail. He is very good at saving his mistakes. So here's another view of the loop that we're doing, the like 18 to 19 mile loop. It's, again, sandy, twisty, turny, and there are a lot of areas where the trees are super close together, like to the point where you definitely have to slow down or you could clip your handlebars because the trees are parallel to one another. You can't do that whole rigmarole of like leaning your arms one way and then the other way really fast to get your bars around the tree. Like that was sort of that rigmarole. It really looks slower than it feels. It looks like we're doing nothing. I will admit we're doing an endurance pace on this day. We are not trying to ride hard because we are going to do two loops, which is about 38 miles, and it took us like 3.5 hours. I'll put the link to my Strava ride in the bio, the description. Damn, words. I have been watching way too many other people's channels lately. I'm really obsessed with Miles in Transit. If you haven't seen Miles in Transit, I highly suggest it. I think I'm obsessed with location and locality and place and transportation. Like getting hello, log over. That was horrible how I wrote that. I think that getting around in space and through a location is really interesting. So Miles in Transit and GeoWizard are two of my favorite channels. I love GeoGuessr, the game. I just love place, earth. I like plants. I don't know, I just like everything about it. I even like suburbia hell. I just like America has so much variety. I don't know why I'm going on this tangent today. Okay, so little bridge. There are like 3 bridges here, and they seem kind of unnecessary because they really don't get full, but I think there was one time ever that I remember it being a little bit flooded here. One time I made my friend Louise, who was in my mountain biking video, if you remember that, 2 videos ago. I brought her here on cross bikes with our friend Andre, and it had just snowed. And like, so they do controlled burns here, as you can see from all of these tiny little pine trees. And if you look at the bottom of all the trees, they're like kind of black because they do controlled burns here. And that's great because it's really good for reforestation and clearing out non-native plants, etc. So the trees where we were most annoyed and near the like midway point of this loop, so like there's no turning back at that point, you're fucked, were covered in snow and then leaning over into the trail. And so I was riding on the front just like trying to push them off of the trail so that we could get through, and just getting covered in snow and getting so wet, and it was so annoying, but still fun somehow. You can see we cross a lot of other trails. Most of these trails that we're crossing over are either hiking trails, which is amazing, by the way, that they have dedicated hiking versus mountain biking trails. I cannot say enough about how amazing that is. And there's also a series of dirt biking trails, which is very cool too. And there's always signs that say like look both ways before crossing, but you can fucking hear the dirt bikes. And I like to listen to stupid music while we ride, so I have one of those JBL speakers in my pocket. You can hear the dirt bikes over my music any day. I usually pause the music if we pass people. I try not to be annoying, but it's also sort of serves as a bell for when I'm passing another person on the trail. And to be honest, you're going to hear my music for like all of a minute at the most. So I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I know that this is a hot topic and that a lot of people are going to think I'm a douchebag, and that's okay. I am a douchebag, so whatever. Like, there are only so many things that bring me joy in life, and if it's my fucking music and enjoying it while riding, I'm gonna fucking do it, because I could be doing a lot worse. Could be doing a whole lot worse, which it's the last day of 2025, and I'm really excited to be recording this narration today. We did this ride on Sunday, so the 29th. I'm so grateful for the life that I get to live. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But God damn it, if it isn't amazing that I get to experience this thing on this crazy planet. It's so cool. And I can only feel this way because I have the perspective to like reflect on my life and see myself as not the center of the universe, which is something that I did a lot in my active addiction. Not that I'm not an addict now and have different addictions, but I have about 10 years I'm coming up on 10 years of sobriety from drugs and alcohol. And that has, I think that's why I'm so into bikes. They sort of serve as a replacement therapy and coping mechanism. Oh, that's the water tower. Damn, we really cut like quick through this first lap. Like that was about an hour and 40-minute loop that we just did at the pace we were riding. So this guy needs directions. They both needed directions back to the parking lot, and we're like 5 minutes, if not less, from the parking lot. And they could have just gone on that road. This is a really annoying, tight section that is like a little blip at the beginning of the loop if you're going counterclockwise. So we did a clockwise loop, which normally I feel like we do a counterclockwise loop and then a clockwise loop, but we did clock and then counter, which was nice because I think that's what motivated me to do the second lap. Although I did feel really good once we were done with this lap, I wanted to go again. Sometimes if I don't eat enough, I'll be like, really? I'm going to do a whole nother lap? Because this gets very monotonous and boring. It's just so much the same thing. There's just really not that much variety, except for when the landscape changes, because there are areas where they've like more recently burned.
3 hours later.
So this is us going out for a loop the other way. I just wanted to include that stupid SpongeBob meme. I fucking love it. Look at how sweaty my back is from wearing the fucking GoPro. I hooked it up onto David so that he could feel my pain because it was hot Sunday. It was warm. If we hadn't been in the woods, though, we would have been cooler because it was, again, like 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. This was the perfect thing to do on this day because I would not have wanted. I got lost. I went the wrong way and now I'm on a hiking trail. But the hiking trail ended right here and then it took us to this fire road. So I was like, fuck it, we're fine. And you could see the blazes on that were square. So again, like the blazes that are circles are mountain bike blazes. And blaze is like the little marker if you don't know what the word blaze means. And then the square blazes are hiking trails here. So again, circle on your right, on your left, you'll see them on the trees. Anyway, oh, fuck, I forgot. Yes, this was the best decision to ride mountain bikes because it was so wet you couldn't ride anywhere in Philly without mucking up the trails. You really shouldn't ride on wet trails because it just like tears them up, and riders will push out to the edges of the trail more and more to avoid puddles. So as you can see here, it's nice and narrow, and that's really how it should be, so that you can see that single track line, and it forces you to ride with correct form. It really pushes you to get more experience, to ride things to find the speed limit and to ride correctly. I'm very good at finding the speed limit because I'm scared as hell of clipping a tree with my handlebars, as I've done more than once here and other places. But anyway, you don't really want to ride after a rain, but here there's no puddles. You can see how dry it is. If anything, Batsto gets better after a rain because it's sandy, and the sand will actually hook up more with your knobs on your mountain bike tire than when it's dry. Like when it's really dry, you slip out a lot more, so it's better after a good rain. And here I think I'm feeling self-conscious riding in front because I know that David's faster than me on, like, a little bit better technically than I am on turns. So sometimes if it like opens up, I'll speed up out of a fear of like being annoying and you can see he's like catching me. Yeah. It's okay. It's all right. I don't know why I have to be so self-conscious about it. It is nothing to do with even having the camera on. This is just something that I deal with whenever I'm riding with other people. I feel like I'm in the way, or like yeah. But it's fun to ride in the front because riding in the back is fun for some reasons, like at a place like this where it's trails and there are turns, you can see the line of the person in front of you, you can follow that line. Especially when you're new, you want to have somebody in front of you so you can see what they're doing, how they're leaning their body, how they're handling things. But being on the front is cool because you have to figure that out on your own, and you get to set the pace. You don't have anybody almost crashing in front of you. I don't know. Both are good. I like following wheels. I don't mind it very much, but probably just because I've done it a lot and it's how I learned how to ride. I think, yeah, and like I said, I'm so self-conscious about riding. We had to stop for a second, and I just thought it was a nice shot of us just standing. You can see how freaking tall these trees are in this shot. They are so tall. Pine trees are so funny. They're just these skinny little trees. We're ready to go. You can see a tree down right there. That's something interesting about Batsto is obviously, or any mountain biking trail, that way that trees fall and how they affect the trail, how the trail changes over time. This is a big road that I think like 4x4s and stuff will come on, so it's a little bit more dangerous, but again, like you can hear if things are coming. So back on the trail, back through the tight trees and turns of Batsto. I know earlier I was talking about sobriety and I sort of like got off track, but I just want to say if anybody's watching this and they're thinking about what it would be like, I don't know, my life has just gotten exponentially better over time now that I don't drink or use drugs as coping mechanisms. So yeah, I think you should try it if you have any inkling. If any little part in your mind thinks, should I do this? Then you should probably do it. It won't get worse. It will not get worse. It might seem like it's worse because you're like quote unquote not having the fun, but I think my life is just infinitely funner now. I don't wake up hungover. I don't feel shitty. I remember everything that I say and do. I have a lot more control over the things that I say and do. I won't say that I'm perfect, but I'm working on it. And I have just like far more meaningful interactions in my day-to-day life. Because I don't just care about myself. I really want to connect with other people now in a way that I didn't before. I think, oh, a little log over. I am just really need to figure out how to lift the timing of my tires. Anyway, I'm feeling judgmental of myself again, which is not super helpful. I'm getting better every day. And maybe you can hop over shit better than me. Good for you. Maybe you can't. Hey, guess what? If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. I have endoed practicing logging over and broken bones in my face. And I'm still out here doing it. So I'm not saying you need to break bones in your face to do it. But if I can do it, you can do it. So I hope you'll try because shit's fun, dude. This shit is so fun. This was like I needed this day more than I can even express. It's been really, really cold winter so far. And I've been riding the trainer, which is my least favorite activity. And I have been using power numbers again. Ugh. But honestly, when you're on the trainer, I don't know how else you do it unless you use Zwift, which I don't have. Oh, look, I had to get off. I got off because I just don't like when there's space underneath the thing that I'm hopping over. Like, I'm afraid it's going to bounce and then take me out. Fucking whatever. I don't have to explain myself to you. And you probably aren't listening to this part. You probably haven't even gotten this far, so who cares? So we're still on orange, even though I just saw a blue marker. The blue and orange are like together at some points. I remember pedaling more through the turns on this ride, but as I'm watching it, I'm really like not pedaling through turns very much. And it's something I'm trying to be more conscious of, to pedal through the turns, because it helps you get more traction. Oh, look at this huge, cute group. So cute. They were very cute. We saw them twice, but I only included... I think the battery might have died the first time we saw them. So I only get about like 40 to 50 minutes per battery. So we had to change the battery out at the halfway point both times, and we changed the battery out before we started the second loop, which is cray cray. This section has so much brush, like understory. So clearly it's been a long time since they burnt this one. Although you can tell they have. If you look at the trees, they're pretty black. But it must have been some time because there's just a lot of... Hop to it. Put some lift on that thing. I am terminally stupid. Lean on it. Lean on that thing. Oh, there you go. That's cute. I don't know what to talk about for the rest of this video. There are way too many minutes left. This video was like 3 hours long. I had to edit it down to this, and I still edit it down to be too long. Most of my videos so far have been 20 minutes, so I don't know what the hell I was thinking, making it this long. But I don't know. Maybe you're like really feeling it. Maybe you're just really like into this vibe. I think I just really liked this day, so it was hard for me to cut out a lot from the video. Work. I look surprisingly bouncy. Like my rear suspension needs some air, I think. For sure. Or it's just this jersey. I love this jersey. It's a Velocho wool jersey, but the pockets are not, they're really baggy. Like they really should have either reinforced them more or made the pockets out of a different material than wool. The pockets really don't need to be wool. I don't know why they, yeah, I don't agree with that choice. But it's such a sick jersey otherwise. Like it's perfect for when you're not sure what to wear and you, like even though I was hot and sweaty, I was comfortable. It was so comfortable. I'm also wearing I'm wearing the Velocho thermal bibs shorts, which I should not have been wearing for the temperature that it was. Hello, low tree. I love this area. It's so beautiful with the sky. The clouds were really moving this day. Again, it was very windy, so it would go from like sunny to overcast really fast. But it's so nice that we got out. Yep, there are the clouds. Got out into this area while the sky was a little bit blue so that you can see sort of the orange and the blue against each other with that vibrant green. It's like poppin'. Poppin'. Everybody who's ridden at Batsto knows where we are right now. I don't know, it's just super beautiful and memorable. I think everybody loves that section. It's this sort of like reprieve after lots of tight areas where there's just like tree, and then you open up into this big expanse. And maybe it's just that it's so different from everything else that makes it memorable. Well, I'll leave you with some music for a little bit since I don't know what to talk about right now. Yeah. Enjoy. I remembered what I wanted to talk about that I have not talked about, which is the history of Batsto. So, and of the trails themselves. I think that would be interesting to learn about. So I did a little research, and here's what I learned. I haven't said this name yet, but this is actually called the Penn Branch Trail. And about 10 years ago, the superintendent of Wharton Forest, which is where Batsto is located inside of Wharton Forest in New Jersey, asked for some advice from the bicycling community to mark out a family-oriented mountain bike specific trail. So about 10 years ago is when the idea first formed for this trail to exist, or these trails. And it took about 3 years to blaze and mark the trails and cut them into the ground. So that's a pretty long time, and there are quite a lot of trails here. It makes sense that it took that long, I think, because they have to turn so much, and I think they were trying not to cut down a lot of trees. So yeah, it takes time to make trails. They were also really trying to emphasize sustainability and, like I said, having a minimal impact on the land. So they made sure to avoid environmentally sensitive areas and try to use parts of the forest that had the good soil, like the soil we see here, this like mix of dirt and sand that really drains well and makes it so you can ride here year round. It is just so good. They also wanted to focus on having easy management and maintenance for the trail because it's so remote. You can't drive into these trails. I know there are the crossings, but like when a tree goes down, if it's in the middle of two crossings, it could take a hike to get a chainsaw over to there so that they can cut them down. And they said they wanted it to be a family-oriented mountain bike trail, so I think they do really try to keep it accessible by minimizing the amount of log overs that are on the trail so that it's more beginner friendly, which I totally respect. And I think that we need lots of beginner trails because like I tried to learn, like I've said, at Belmont and cried because some of those trails were designed, I think, by a masochist. I say that lovingly to Walt. Some people just want things to be hard because they're so good, you know? And like, that's great, you're good, but not everybody's good. We all got to start somewhere. So it's good to have trails for new people so that they can learn how to get as good as you, people who design trails. Yeah, so that's about the trails, the Penn Branch Trail. And then Batsto was a little village and has a long history. They had mills here. There was ironworks here. There's a little village you can visit of old houses. You can do tours from the visitor center if you're interested in learning the history. And the ironworks created like cooking pots and kettles during the Revolutionary War years. They supplied for the Continental Army, and seems like Philadelphians have always come to Batsto and owned the land. There was also a glassmaking community that created window glass in the 1800s. And then the final ownership before it was sold to the state was a Philadelphian named Joseph Wharton, hence the name Wharton Forest. And he, like Joseph Wharton, tried to make the mansion better and the village buildings. He was working in forestry and agricultural endeavors. But yeah, the state purchased the land in the mid-1950s. And when they purchased the land, they let the people who lived in the buildings in Batsto Village live there for as long as they wanted. The last house was occupied until 1989. So there's the history. of Batsto, and that's more than I've ever known, and I've been here more times than I would like to admit. Obviously, native people lived here a lot, probably the Lenape. I should look this up. I'm going to look it up right now. I'm literally Googling. Yeah, Lenni Lenape tribe. Weird. Batsto is believed to derive from the Swedish word batstu, meaning bathing place, which could refer to Native Americans utilizing the area's waterways for bathing. All right. Now it's the Pine Barrens, and people know what the Pine Barrens are known for. Bad joke. Anyway, thanks for sticking in there with me as I did your stupid historical facts section of the video. I think it's a cool place to ride. I'm glad I'm trying to learn more about the places that I go. And for as much as I like places, I don't know. I mean, I do like learning historical facts, but I think I like the now part of the place more than anything. You get to go through a pretty cute town on your way here that has a Wawa. So if you're ever driving here and forget to bring your breakfast, get a hash brown or a pretzel at Wawa before you ride. That's it for me. See you at the next one.